What is going on, YouTube? It is Primitive here, bringing you the finals of the first BT6 local that we're having here. Now that it's finally legal, yesterday was the first day of BT6 being legal in the States, so our first full official tournament here. I'm going to be playing my Bond of Friendship AncientGarurumon deck that I had posted on the channel a couple days ago, and I'll be playing against Security Control. Now this is not a Three Musketeers style Security Control, this is just straight up yellow Security Control. Obviously there's playing other black cards, but it's a primarily yellow style deck. Now my hand is pretty gross. Starting off, I have a lot of hybrids in my hand. I have a couple Lobomons and Kendo Garurus in hand, so I'm gonna have to just hard play out this Lobomon here. I do see that the ultimate flare goes on top, so I'm just gonna go ahead and swing into that right away and get that over with before I start playing anything else out. I'm gonna have to play another Lobomon here because, like I said, I have just a lot of hybrids in hand and I need to start cycling them out. As much as I don't really want to play my mat, I have to, but I do hit a Gabumon when digivolving there, and then I can just play another mat out and then hard play the Grizzlymon. Just getting the cards out of my hand. There is a Sakuyamon on board, which is going to be pretty annoying now for when I try and promote my Gabumon, because it will have security attack -3. We're going to see the reinforced memory boost come out to gain the memory. Eden's Javelin going to go ahead and give, I believe, -7 to that Grizzlymon there, and then another Magna Angemon coming out to recover back up. So although I got a couple swings in, just going to fill it back up, back to a healthy amount of security. And now I'm going to promote, gain 1, draw 1, go into Davis, and I just hit the Gabumon there, which is going to allow me to search out potentially another mat. I'm going to go ahead and play it out here and just search out. I am a little bit surprised that I didn't swing in with my Lobomon there, just because things are probably going to get cleared off the board anyway, so I might as well have just swung in there and got the check. But gonna swing in, hit the Howling Memory Boost, so I can have that for whenever I need it. Yet another Magna Angemon coming up, so a lot of recovery coming in. I'm gonna need to find a few spots of removal here, like either this Bond or this Ancient, so I can start going in. Now I'm thinking about here, do I want to just swing in and risk potentially hitting something at the top security and dying? So I decided to go in for the first check to hit the Magna Angemon that's suspended, so that way I can get rid of both of them on the board, so there's less presence, because I did just have to trash 2 of my security. And then I can go in and swing in. I do hit the Holy Wave, which will refresh, and then hit the tie-in mat, so nothing too big from that Bond that I just had there, but I was able to still clear out some of the recovery with that Holy Wave. And then the Ornithmon's going to come out here and pop my Lobomon, so I just have a Gabumon chilling, and then I'm going to have 1 in raising. I'm going to play the Draw Gabu here so I can start cycling. I really need to try and find AncientGarurumon. That's really going to be the biggest key in this matchup, because I'll be able to get a couple checks, and then if it does die, I can just go in. Now I hit the Zort defeat here, which is going to, when I see that, I pretty much know that I just lost, because I can play the Grizzlymon out, and then I can go for the Magnadramon here, which does let me recover. But the fact that Ty and Matt is on the board means that both Digimon on board have security attack +2, meaning no matter what that they hit, they're going to go for both my checks. My opponent swings with the Salamon, wants to take it back because of a different play, but it doesn't really matter what they do there. No matter which one I block, one of those Digimon has security attack +2, so they're going to be able to go in. So for game 2, I'm going to decide to go second, because I am playing against Security Control. With that style of deck, you always want them to be going first if possible, because they really can't put you at a low amount of memory. You see that the lowest amount of memory that they could have played is either putting me at 4 with the Tamer or just passing the turn, and so I will take that. I get my extra draw, and I do get the 4 memory, which allows me to play out a Drabu Gabu and then a Mat. Now, going into this turn, I have the promotion. I need to try to go up into something bigger, so I decided to go up into the Ancient on the Draw Gabu, leaving the other Gabumon on board for if I do decide to, or if I do hit the Bond. Hit into the Holy Wave, so nothing really there, just going to recover itself. And then the Wyvern's Breath's going to come out, pop my other Gabumon, which is a bit unfortunate, but not that big of a deal. I did kind of assume that it was just going to die. Grizzlymon's going to come down. At the end of my turn, my Ancient's going to die, and I actually don't have a hybrid in hand. So despite me having, I believe, 14 hybrids in this deck, I somehow missed it. And that is going to be a theme throughout these next couple games, is missing the hybrids. The Dave is going to come out. I'm going to grab the Ancient. I have to grab the Ancient just because that is the most important card in this matchup, in my opinion, because being able to get those multiple checks without having to trash my security is going to be pretty key. But once again, there is a Sakuyamon on board, which is going to be pretty annoying because I am going to gain security attack -3 on my Gabumon here, but I'm going to have to promote regardless because I want to get those draws from Matt. I need to start trying to stack up the tamers in the back, because a large part of my game plan is going to be getting hybrids on top of these tamers, so that way I can get these extra checks at the end game. Now I'm going to have to just go in and hit this for cycle. There's 2 Tine Mats on the board, which means if another Zwart defeat comes out, I'm going to be in pretty big trouble. I decided to go for the Gabumon here, which is a little bit scary just because if they go for Gvelschformer here, the board will likely just get cleared, which would be pretty rough. So I'm going to decide to block with the Grizzlymon there, so that way I can at least get the Magna-Angemon off board, and if I do get Gvelschformer, then I can just at least get a little bit of value by not getting my security checked right there. But they do decide to just go for another Ornithmon here and pop my Lobomon instead of my Gabumon, which is interesting because now I have a triple swing Gabumon coming out. I am going to go ahead and just start going for those swings. There's the Zwart defeat coming out, which is going to be unfortunate because, like I said, it does have security attack +2 right now with those Tine Mats. Gonna have to swing in with the Gabumon. I do hit the memory boost there, but it's kind of irrelevant just because there's so much memory gain on my opponent's end right now anyway, that them having the memory boost is just something that isn't a big deal. It's just something that they're going to add onto. Now, I have to play the Rattlestar to bottom deck the Zwart because it does have the plus security checks, and if I leave it on there, then they can just potentially go in for game next turn by swinging with Zwart and then going into with either the other Digimon. So I'm going to finish off my turn with playing Magna-Dramon there, so that way I can recover back up and putting them up to 10 because, like I said, they gain so much memory that I feel like it doesn't really matter how much memory I give them. They're going to have pretty much access to just about everything right now, especially with having the Magna-Dramon on board and those Tine Mats. But either way, recovering up now so that way I can get that out of the way, get those checks. I know that the double checks are coming in. I did hit the Kakaitis Breath so I could bounce the Sakuyamon back, which is pretty big because now I can potentially promote my Gabumon next turn without having security tech -3. But being smart, they do go ahead and just hard play the Sakuyamon, knowing that this could be an issue, but I do have another Gabumon on board that can allow me to go into bond if I want to. I do swing with the Gabumon. It has security attack -3, so I can't do any checks, but I can get the draw with the Upamon. Then I'm going into the bond so I can get the first check. I just hit the reinforced memory boost so that way I can just swing in for the second check. But even if it did die there, I just needed it to make sure that I got 1 or 2 checks in, and then I could clear off with the hybrids, because playing the bond, if I did hit another Holy Wave there and they did recover, then I would be able to get the second check still and then be able to go in for the hybrid, as to where if I just swung in with the Gabumon and hit the Holy Wave, then I wouldn't be able to go in for game with hybrids there. But I'm going to go ahead and start off with the Gabumon and the Mat, and then hard playing the Drabu Gabu there. Gotta start cycling. I was lacking a lot of the key pieces that I want for the matchup last game, so I'm gonna have to do it again. We're gonna see that I'm pretty much lacking resources kind of again here, because instead of going for Ancient or Bond, I'm just gonna swing in and get early checks, hit the Wyvern's Breath right away, so my Drabu Gabu goes down. It is just a 1k DP Digimon, so it was gonna go down to pretty much everything. I'm gonna grab the Kendo there. I need to grab as many hybrids to go on Tamers as possible, because like I said before, this is a very key part of the matchup, is being able to play those, and my opponent's just gonna pass. They are sitting with already a lot of memory chilling in the back with the double Izzy Joe and then the reinforced memory boost. The double Izzy Joes are going to kind of incentivize me wanting to swing in and leave less than 2 Digimon on board. This is already a matchup where having one or like around 1 Digimon on board is usually a little bit more optimal because of cards like Ultimate Flare and Gvelschformer being in the list, being able to pop multiple rookies on board. So having multiple Digimon is open to being cleared off. I have to go in for the bond here just because I need to get the checks in. I don't really want to be trashing my security off the top this early in the matchup, but with looking at what my opponent has, I'm just going to have to do it. The Zwart defeat is going to come out now, which is a bit unfortunate, but there are no Tine Mats out, so I don't have to worry about checks just quite yet. My opponent's already at 1 security, which is good for me, but there is the capability for a lot of recovery in this list, especially since we just see the Salamon in the back, and the Salamon can go ahead and just get 1 pretty much free recovery right away. My Bond's going to die at the end of the turn, but again, taking advantage of the slower turns to play the Magna-Dramon here, so that way I can at least get some recovery going. But my opponent's going to smartly trade the Salamon into my Gabumon, so not only do they get the recovery, but they also clear off my potential Bond target as well as my potential Ancient target, so very good play there. Now going to play out the Sorajo, which is going to allow for even more memory gain on top of these Izzy Joes and the memory boost, so lots of memory coming out. Don't have any blue Digimon in the deck, I don't believe, meaning that they won't actually get the wind suspending effect, but pretty much irrelevant. When you're playing against security control, you're going to be hard playing a lot, just like I did with these Gabumon. So the Sorjo is going to be active quite often with either this Gabumon or the Magnadramon here, but this Magnadramon will probably get swung over by the Zwart next turn because my opponent's going to want to have me have as little Digimon as possible here. So going to play another Gabumon on board. Going to be trying to go wide so that way I can stick some Digimon on board for the future turns, but also searching for tamers because I want to try and get more tamers out for my hybrids. It's going to be the more consistent way to end out this game if I do hit my hybrids. Opponent's going to go in, hit the Hammer Spark, which is fairly irrelevant because they have so much memory. They can just gain that memory back with the reinforced memory boost delay if they do choose to. So still sitting at 3 checks to my opponent's 3 checks, and they're going to Gavelt Former here. Going to go ahead and clear off my board, which is a bit unfortunate there because they are able to just do so much. Able to go into Gavelt Former into the Magnadramon is going to be very devastating. I'm super far behind now. I had my opponent at 1 check available and then had a turn where I could have probably capitalized on that with the hybrids, but unfortunately with those hybrids and off that whiff, my opponent is now at 5 security with the back-to-back Magnadramons and is threatening with 3 Digimon on board, so I can go for all my checks, meaning that if I do go for my bond here and trash the top 2, then I can just potentially die if I don't trade into my opponent. So gonna have to think about that here. I decided that my play is to have to go into bond. I have been missing all of my ancients. I would have preferred to go into ancient here, but I can swing unsuspend, and then my plan there was to have my last swing go into that Zwart defeat since my bond was going to die anyway, but then I do hit the ultimate flare. So now we're very far behind, so that Kakaitis Breath that I didn't really want to use is going to go on top of that Zwart now, and then my opponent's just looking in a very powerful spot here, playing the Machinedramon, so I'm not going to be able to get through anything here. I will be able to stall out the turn just a bit by making it so I can play the Howling Memory Boost, which will allow one of the Digimon to not attack or block. Choosing the Machinedramon is what I will choose. We'll see me play the Howling Memory Boost here. And then I will swing in with the Lobomon since it will just die anyway. I might as well. Izzy's going to come out. There are too many yellow cards for them to be able to really effectively ever get the memory gain off there, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I play the Grizzlymon. My opponent's going to gain 6 memory, so they'll go up to 9. But this does make it so I technically don't die yet. But my opponent likely just has Wyvern's Breath in hand, so they can just play the Wyvern's Breath, put me at 1, pop my Grizzlymon, and go for game. And so after a second, my opponent will realize that they can go for that play and swing it for the Magnadramon, and they are going to go ahead and take the finals 2-1. So congrats to my opponent. This is her first time winning a local, so it's very cool, especially now that got the first BT6 one. She changed over from aggressive decks to security control and has really found her groove. But with that being said, this is going to be this match. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe because I'm going to be having Digimon content coming to you all the time. But with that being said, I will see you tomorrow. I hope you have a great day. Peace out.